Hello, friends. This is a special broadcast to introduce the forthcoming Order of Futuristic Learning Cells from Rethink India Institute. The only thing, what we all say, that the only constant in life is change, and with the advent of technology, with the advent of mass level disruptions which are happening in the world today, the only surety of future is a VUCA word, the word of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And in this VUCA-stridden word, it becomes all the more imperative that our young learners are equipped to get acquainted and get initiated into the order of futuristic learning. And this entire order of futuristic learning program, which Rethink India Institute has convened, would be a 9-month-long program from April to December 2024. It is open for the students of class 6th, 7th, and 8th, and this program would be delivered in a peer learning mode, whereby the learning groups would be constituted at the various participating schools. A learning group would constitute of one student of class 6th, one student of class 7th, and one student of class 8. So there is a whole pedagogical philosophy behind keeping these three levels of learners in one learning group. So the idea is, this is a stage, this is a kind of a fulcrum stage after the primary education. This middle stage of education is somewhat where the kids have gone through the fundamental primary education, and they are embarking upon the career stage, the advanced learning. But these 3 years of learners, if they can be oriented and given the tools and techniques and a perspective as to what lies in future, which is, as I would repeat all over again, which will be all filled with volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So the only way to handle this VUCA is to really get initiated, is to really get empowered to handle it. So coming to the whole nuts and bolts of the program, so 9-month-long program, and we would be meeting thrice a week for 1 hour a day. And then there would be a 24/7 kind of an engagement, digital engagement platform, wherever if there is any comment, any question, query. So this is a kind of a program which will supplement your already majestic school education. So school education has a great burden. The school faculty, despite their best of the best efforts, they have their own constraints. They have a foundation to lay. So this will be an all India program, a national program. As I said, we would be meeting thrice a week for 1 hour between 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. before dinner. And we would be orienting you to a host of narratives. I would come to the key thematics, what would be covering. And we would be also bringing you one or the other accomplished personalities every now and then to share their very journeys with you. Because as they say, you can envision for future by looking into the past. So the human experiences in present, people who have like 3 decades or 4 decades of a very enriched, professional, accomplished life, they would be interacting with you, giving their perspectives to you, to ignite your imaginations and also inspire you in whatever area or domain you want to go over there. And then the program would also have a kind of a quarterly certification. So 3 certifications every 3 months, how you are performing. So a lot of housework, housework in the sense housekeeping work, like self-reflection would be the core of it all, and more we will unravel as the program proceeds. There would be a faculty coordinator from each school who would be hand-holding you, if at all, and then also keeping an oversight. And also we would empower you to create your own personal student accomplishment portfolios. Now this is very, very, very important. You might have heard about your parents or your senior brothers, sisters, or others in your acquaintance that they are on platforms like LinkedIn, where they are networking with the larger professional world. But even as a young learner, even as a learner at a class 6, 7th, or 8th stage, you are doing a lot of work, you are doing a lot of projects, you are doing a lot of activities out there. So can it be all converged into a digital repository to showcase your 360-degree personality, your vivid interests? Because the careers of future are not going to be as linear as they are today. The multidisciplinarity and interdisciplinarity would come into vogue in a phenomenal fashion. So we just cannot predict as to when you will be touching upon your K-12 level and then going to the college, and then post college it's a long haul. So a lot of uncertainties, but the foundational principles remain the same. We would just give you some weekly agenda bulletins as a part of this program to set the expectations for the coming week, and and uh, and coming to the key thematics, like time management would be one core thing, self-management, productivity, multidisciplinarity and interdisciplinarity I have already mentioned, oratory, writing, learning how to learn. Now this is very important because new and new techniques, new and new skills are coming across. Nothing to get very worried about it. Everything can be acquired if our fundamentals are so very strong. I give you a small analogy that a ace driver who knows how to handle his clutch, brake and accelerator, and also the steering, who has a good command, he can drive anywhere or everywhere in the world. So that is the whole idea behind this program. And then the subjects like physical sciences, physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics in an intertwined fashion. We would try to show you the correlation between your prescribed curriculum across 6th, 7th, and 8th. A 6th grader would see, oh, these are the subjects, these are the topics I would be studying in 7th and 8th grade, and we would like to show you from your prescribed curriculum that the 6th class topics across these subjects also have a higher level of learning in 7th or 8th. So a kind of a reflection, a kind of a backward and forward linkages would come automatically, and we would not be haunted by the curriculum. We would rather fall in love. And at Rethink India, we feel that the baseline foundational stuff is fine, but then it has to be built upon the interdisciplinarity and multidisciplinarity we would try to evoke. Then social sciences, somewhere or the other, because of multiple reasons, we are not so very fascinated about humanities, as we all call it. So the history, civics, geography, economics, commerce, they are all subjects which are of the real world. And if you really go to the professional space, they really create that foundation for higher octave thinking, I would say creation. And these subjects become all the more important in an era when artificial intelligence is taking roots, large language models are coming through. So these humanities are a kind of a central substance we would also try to cover as a part of this program, and linguistics obviously as a foundation, because as all the great scholars are saying, that natural language is the operating system of the human mind. So the more profound we are, the more familiarity we have with our language. This program would be primarily in the English language, but then language appreciation per se. Language should not be seen as a kind of a barrier. Oh, it's because the more, if you see all the standard IQ tests, they test your linguistic proficiency. The more you study that, you become a profound scholar in any discipline per se. We would also acquaint you with the futuristic perspectives in various career streams like law, management, healthcare, medicine, civil services for that matter, defense services, and a host of allied sectors, journalism and new media, engineering and technology, space, music, cuisine, literature, how a vocation can become a profession, a hobby can become a profession. So this is what is happening in today's era. And then by the time you will come up to your age of gaining a gainful employment, you would be really empowered by these aspects. Then photography, videography, graphic design, some basic skills. The tools are all available, and you can work on your mobile, on your tablet, on your desktop computer. So everything has become so very simple now in 2024 when we would be starting this program. Then we would also acquaint you with the very emergent global narratives from the leading global think tanks like the World Economic Forum, OECD, G20, which India hosted its presidency for this year 2023. So this gives us a very deep perspective of our curriculum. So education is not just about finishing off some 5, 10 books, going to the school. It's all about a comprehensive I would say enrichment of our understanding of the word all around, and we would be doing this all in a very attractive fashion. So 5 instruments we would be deploying very elaborately. One is the instrument of Edu News. A newspaper, for that matter, is a textbook, is a textbook of the real life. Even the senior most people having all their degrees in place, they study the newspapers every morning to get a hang of the word, and then they steer through the word along with. So news for education would be one of the key instruments. We would be attuning you for this as a part of the OFL program. Edu films. We all love to watch films, and with the advent of the OTT era, a lot of web series have come through, which really give us a universal exposure. If we have to see the various geo-linguistic locales all across the cultures, the geographies, a lot of video content is available. Probably physically or economically, it might not be possible for us to visit so many places, experience them over there. But if in a very structured fashion, if we can go through a select set of edu films for education, we really can really get enriched phenomenally well. Then edu arts as a means of expression, be it painting, photography, various forms of arts for education. So arts is not a very segmented part like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates conundrum. We all know about it, and Mac, the iMac tools, we are all using it. So technology also has a very underlying artistic facet out there. So it links more with the mother nature, with the cosmic creation. So in order to get creative, arts has to become a very important aspect. So we will be invoking that. And edu sports, like physical activity is the core of it all. Apart from the physical activity part of it, the management principles, the life lessons we get from the domain of sports. So sports for education would again be a very core component of this entire 9 month long, I would say, uh, 56 weeks, 36 weeks kind of engagement, what we are trying as a part of this program. And most importantly, edu excursions. So you might be as a part of your family trips and outing, we will try to give you a kind of a drashti, a kind of a vision. Whenever you are traveling somewhere, what kind of an observation you have all. Because textbooks are fine. They're after all the written expression of someone who has observed the reality on their own. So a first-hand observer of life if we become through excursions, maybe to the marketplace, maybe to and fro the school, maybe a tourism trip over there. So education through excursions. So these are the 5 key tools we will be deploying phenomenally out there. And last but not least, bottom line is to further augment the 8 intelligences, as the Harvard Gardner's theory says that all of us possess some of these 8 fundamental intelligences in us in different proportions. So we would be honing them further. Your preschool, your primary school has really instilled it in some way or the other, but then taking these intelligences to the next level, to the intellectual level, to the level of imaginativeness, to the level of inventiveness. So we'll be working on these 8 intelligences: the linguistic, logical, mathematical, spatial, bodily kinesthetics, musical, interpersonal, intrapersonal, naturalistic. So the idea would be like the schools would be setting up a nominal or notional OFL cell within their campuses to give a sanctity to this program. A school can send as many learning groups, but we have kept a tab of not more than 3 in the beginning, so that we can accommodate as many as schools as possible, so that this really becomes a kind of a national program, a different kind of a coaching, you can say, which is not just cramming per se. It is reflecting on the content, what you have gotten. Somewhere or the other, the bottom line remains to kickstart you as a self-learner, to kickstart you to become courageous as to what you have within you, and you can express. And this learning would not be an individualistic one. This will be a group learning. You have to be if you're a student of class 7th, you will be having one peer from your school, a grader of 6th, and a senior of your eighth. So this gives you a kind of a team learning perspective as well. And your teachers would be always with you so that whatever pointers, whatever things you learn, you observe, you feel, you can discuss back at the school, and this will be nothing out of it all. We would be keeping the contours well within the framework of whatever NCRT and other people have put up as a curriculum, but then we'll be taking it forward. We will be extrapolating some of the concepts, precepts, going back and forth. So this is all about the Order of Futuristic Learning program. And I invite you all to embark upon this fascinating journey of learning in the new year of 2024, and to take charge of the VUCA frontiers. Nothing should deter us, and a lot of mindfulness we will be doing, meditation, how to have a self-discipline, how to really manage our own selves, because this is what the future is all about, and this is our own life, and we have to take charge of it. And that confidence we want to really instill, and this will be in conjunction with whatever your fabulous schools are providing you, and also helping you to take the best advantage of the platform, of the schooling platform, what you have got, taking the best advantage of your school library. We will be helping you over there. We'll be igniting you, because somewhere or the other, this is also an age of sadism. This is also an age of critical commentaries, and we have to achieve a certain level of proficiency before we get into those kind of negative narratives. Criticality is fine, but then we are at a stage of life where constructive criticality is so very important. So friends, this is to welcome you all in this compact of futuristic learning, the Order of Futuristic Learning, and all the scholars who would be qualifying, who would be performing well. There won't be any examination. It would be a constant evaluation kind of a framework. And you all will be felicitated who really touch upon a basic benchmark. Obviously, they will be felicitated as a youth icon on National Youth Day 2025. So every year, this is a kind of a parampara tradition we wish to invoke. And we invite you all through your faculty coordinators for this activity, through your honorable school principals, and really carve out a phenomenal, futuristic, a fulfilling life for your own self. So this was all I wanted to discuss. And if you have any further questions, Dr. Surbhi, who's the Director of Relationships at Rethink India Institute, can be approached at 99100509 So I will end it over here as a brief introduction of this entire program, and we can stay connected through Dr. Surbhi for this. Thank you so much.